All right, welcome back to another episode GPPD podcast. I'm hosting here, KD, with my girl
Emily. My favorite. I love this little duo we got.
Yes, this is awesome.
And we got Chris.
That's right.
Chris with us today.
What's up, guys?
Look, and I've been hanging out with Chris a couple years now.
Yeah, I've been around a little bit.
Yeah. So this is going to be a good one. All right, so before we get started, I like to say house rules, but just things. So if you're still interested in applying, get out there. It's gppd.org. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, had a brain
Sounds
freeze.
right. That sounds right.
But yeah, so check it out. One thing that will sneak up on you is all of the qualifications. So make sure you understand that with the running. Mm-hmm. So the push-ups, the running. Mm-hmm. Everybody always asks, what do I have to do? Mm-hmm. It's online. Check it out and get started. All right, so we're going to jump right into this one. This is going to be cool. Mr. Chris. So tell us, how'd you just get started? How'd you end up in the... Well, no, let's back up, like growing up.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know Chris.
You want to know Chris?
I want to know Chris before Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was a military brat.
Okay.
My mom was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And so we bounced around when I was younger. Started in like Texas, and then we went to South Carolina. I forget, like around Sumter, somewhere like that, and then lived 4 years in Okinawa, Japan.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
did that for a
cool.
little bit.
How
Yeah.
was that?
So I left there, started my 6th or 7th grade year.
Yeah.
So 4 years prior to that. So started 2nd or 3rd grade there and left 6th or 7th.
That's cool.
Yeah, it really was.
Did they have English schools? Or
So I was on like a DOD base.
you have to break it down.
Department of Defense.
Oh,
Jeez, the civilian.
Come on
need to
now.
do
Come
that.
on, man.
Whoa.
So
We need to get him back on the streets.
it was Kadena Air Force Base. My mom was in the Air Force. And so it was like an English school.
Yeah.
Just lived in like on a base in the
That's
middle of
cool.
Okinawa. So the cool thing about that was like the island is only like 56 miles long, right? 11 miles wide. It's skinny and short.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not a very big place. And they're packed on top of each other.
Yeah.
Two-way roads look like alleyways here. Like it's a
Ooh.
different experience. And so I lived there. I left like started my 6th or 7th grade year. We moved back to Texas.
Do you remember the food?
Yeah, the food was good. And the best place were like hole in the walls.
Yeah.
And so they had this place called, it was like Gate 2 Street. So you go down this street and it's lined with shops. Shops. And they had like little holes in the walls that would probably get shut down here. But I tell you, man, they cook so much good food down there. And so it was an interesting experience. When I lived there,
cool.
I wanted to leave because like I was isolated from family because they all in the States. But looking back, because my mom had a chance to, they call it extending it for like another 4 years or whatever the time may be. And my mom gave us the opportunity, like, y'all want to stay? Y'all want to go back home? So now let's go back home.
Yeah.
But staying there would have been, it'd been cool because like I learned later on, like their high school sports, they just take airplanes and they fly to other islands.
What?
And play other teams.
That's
and so,
cool.
Yeah, that would have been a cool opportunity to go up and do that.
No,
What do you mean?
Time out. You said airplanes.
Yeah, little hops. They call them hops. Yeah.
No,
You just hop to another
is
island.
You jumping up off the ground and you. No.
Well, that's a little airplane, just a little hop, just to another island for a Friday night football
Ain't
game.
no people on y'all team.
We call that experiences.
Yeah, living life a little,
They
KD.
didn't have that in Nacogdoches or wherever.
Lufkin.
Sorry.
Don't you curse
sorry.
me. Don't curse me.
I'm from Arkansas. I
That's all
don't know
East Texas
that.
over there.
Is that a bad thing?
Yes, those are fighting words. We
Oh.
hate Nacogdoches.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Lufkin. My bad.
Yes.
I knew that.
Lufkin.
Put some
That-
respect on my name.
Put some spec on my name.
Thank you.
Man, I got somebody that live from Atlanta,
Atlanta, Texas.
south of Texarkana. Two old co-workers of mine.
Yeah.
You talk about a small town.
Yeah.
I was
Small
country
town.
over there.
Country.
Interesting. Okay, so,
So,
you're
yeah.
island hopping.
So I wish I was island hopping, but yeah, we lived there for 4 years, and believe it or not, like the Japanese culture is very accepting to Americans, and they have some weird things. Like my little brother was blonde headed, like straight blonde head, and we'd go off base, and people would just come up like rub his head and give him money. They thought it was like a good luck thing. So he's like real young. He's like 3, and they're like just these little
Rubbing
old ladies
his-
just rubbing his head, just give him a couple yen. Currency.
That's awesome.
Currency is yen. Yeah. So they give him a couple currency, and they go about his business.
That's like the earliest form of Been like,
That's
hold up.
amazing.
I'd have been like, Mama, we gonna stand outside.
Yeah.
We stand there around outside. You be all right.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. So it was some weird like concepts like that were really cool, and so.
So like, was it was blonde hair? It was
Yeah, it
good
was
luck.
just like a blonde hair thing. Now I never like looked into it, but I don't see a lot of like blonde haired people from over in Japan.
No, we don't have to look into it. It's, boy, go
You
stand
just
outside
go with it. Yeah.
with your little jaw. And,
just stand there.
Hey,
You be
how
all right.
you doing?
Yeah. Daddy needs some Christmas money. That's what we need.
Only you.
That's right.
Only you.
I bow and I lean on in.
Just lean into it. There you go. Go ahead.
I come home with a bald spot on the top. Baby, what happened to your hair? Mom, it was a lot.
It was a good day.
Money.
It was a good payday today.
Yeah.
Man.
And so, yeah, that was a good time, man. It was, like I said, I lived there for 4 years, and then my mom transferred back to Wichita Falls, Shepherd Air Force Base, and then she retired from there, and we moved to Oklahoma.
So what did she do in the Air Force?
She packed parachutes.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure, like, the title, but it's like survival, something along that nature.
Okay, did she ever have any bad days where she was like, I'm packing your parachute. Keep arguing.
No, I from what I can remember.
you know what I mean?
I don't know
No,
that
I
that's
get
a
it.
thing when
That's
you're
like the one person on the
Say
whole
something
base.
bad.
is
Say
like,
something bad. I got a knife right here. Slip that parachute right off.
It's like, good morning, Miss Casey. Would you like breakfast? I got you. What you
Yeah,
want?
but like it's different in there because if you like make, even if it's like a mistake, and I only know this because my sister-in-law is in the Air Force, and if you even make a mistake and something like that happens, like you're in military jail, right?
Oh, really?
That's like a thing over there.
The only thing I knew from when we lived in Okinawa is that there was like 3 or 4 times that her parachute like saved somebody, and so it was like a custom that they would like buy her like gifts or stuff like that. A couple things like, hey, you saved my life with this parachute. Here's XYZ for whatever you want. And so
Y'all were doing well.
Look,
Yeah.
this is like the damn
you
Golden
wanted to leave?
family.
Yeah.
Like, the little brother, 3, he's
getting
like the
gifts?
golden child. He's just rub his head. Here goes
Rose
some
said, there's some money. No. Yeah, like the Air Force, the pilots would like, if they had to evacuate their airplane and eject, they would bring the person that packed their parachute like a little gift or something
That's
like that.
cool.
And so I guess like, thanks for saving my life.
Yeah,
The parachute worked.
Was
And so yeah, it was
so
like
she wasn't slitting anybody's parachute.
yeah, I mean, she ended
I don't
up in
think that's a
jail.
thing.
So.
I'll be back there with attitude. Who is this? Did your shoot?
And
Okay.
that's why you're not packing parachutes. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I want to talk about the food. So,
Okay.
like, was it spicy? Just is it a lot of
No.
seafood?
No, it's not a lot of seafood. It's a lot of
Really?
noodles and rice. Yeah, it's a lot of
You'd
noodles
think
and rice.
island, there'd be a lot
so-
of seafood. Like I'm
Seafood,
thinking
yeah.
sushi and stuff.
And there probably was, but you got to
Yeah.
remember, I was like
yeah.
6th, 7th grade to 2nd,
Yeah.
3rd grade. So there probably was, but like most things I remember, like, do they have these big woks, and like the open flames? They'd be cooking like noodles and rice and stuff like that. And
That's
so, but yeah, it was an interesting experience for that. But dude, yeah, that's super commercialized, and that's all I remember is Gate 2 Street. I mean, they have all types of shops, all types of things you can buy and stuff like that. And I remember going to McDonald's there. You'd be surprised, the McDonald's workers there are dressed professionally. Skirts, nice blouses, like that was one, like they are.
Not
In
like,
other words,
not
not
like
slobs.
here.
No, not like here.
You can go through the drive-thru, see some draws.
Nah, grease stains
some
all over your
teardrops.
stuff. Yeah.
It's kind of. I think that's such an American thing, though.
Yeah.
Because even in France, like McDonald's are they're really nice.
Yeah,
Like you can
clean.
get like pastries,
Yeah.
like macaroons, wine over there. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
gotta
just
broaden my
American. That's a
horizons.
little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta take a trip over there. A little
This
hop.
Lufkin boy, it's about to get out.
I'm like, nah, I just go to Lufkin. Yeah, I just go to Lufkin.
And so, but yeah, it's definitely it's an experience to definitely try.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And so then y'all ended up back in Texas. You said she retired.
Yeah, she retired. She was an instructor at Shepherd. So essentially, the Air Force way is like here in San Antonio at Lackland for training. You go to Shepherd for certain schools. She was one of the instructors there, and she retired.
Okay.
And then
So what? 20 years, I guess.
no,
Oh.
she did 12,
Oh,
12 years. She medically retired.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went downhill from there. And so, she retired from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then y'all ended up in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner, baby.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. We're part of the SEC now. We're some OU. OU. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't worry about that one.
That's the school. The school.
You're not that's a thing?
No, Texas.
For you-
All Texas schools are the best.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
I went to a Texas college. I graduated from Texas College.
Where'd you go?
Midwestern State.
Yeah, my brother was up there.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Wichita Falls.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we like went there. We went to Oklahoma, and then I finished high school, did a year of college, and then I was like, I did most of my growing up, I guess, in Wichita, like all the people I knew and people I really kicked it with. And so I went back to Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so yeah, it was a good time.
That's cool. So what then? When did you start law enforcement?
I started technically 2011. I worked at Wichita County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
And so, but like growing up, so I didn't tell you, but the reason my mom and dad got out of the military is because she hurt her back, and then they became addicted to pain medication. And so when we moved back to Oklahoma, that happened in Texas. And when we moved back to Oklahoma, we lived with my grandparents, and they got real bad, like real bad, like doctor shopping and stuff like that. And dude, yeah, my mom, like they would, and I have no problem saying this now. It's years ago. Like they would literally go from one doctor to another, and they would take like cancer pain medication. They'd get that. I don't know how they got it. I don't know. I kind of shielded myself from that. But they take cancer pain medication, dude, and that was it, dude. And so my dad ended up dying my senior year of high school.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
And so I mean, it's the life you live. It's kind of. We moved from Texas to Oklahoma started my sophomore year. So I knew what was going on. I wasn't naive to the fact of what was going on. And so I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. And so my dad died my senior year of high school, December, it's bad now, 17th, 2008. And so, he died, and then my mom was still on it. So when I got out of high school, did my year of college, and I was like, all right, I got to get away.
Yeah.
And I moved to Texas.
Yeah.
Then she followed.
Gotcha.
And so she's I don't know, she's in Texas. I don't really talk to her very much anymore. And so
did you like being in Wichita Falls? Was there? I've never been there. I just know that one of the state hospitals is out there.
Yep.
Do you see like a large population of people with addiction, mental illness out in that area just because the state hospital's out there?
No. So surprisingly, a lot of people. So there's one there, and there was one in Vernon, Texas, as well. And so a lot of people came in there, but it was very often they weren't from there. Now there was some people obviously that probably needed downtown and like in the homeless areas, but there wasn't a lot of people that just stayed there after they got out. Like, I don't know how that works at the state hospital. I don't know if they can ride back to like Lufkin or wherever they may be. I don't know, out there back to East Texas. But that's where I don't know. But it wasn't like they would get out and just like be left in Wichita Falls. However they got there, I assume that's how they got back where they were going.
I've always been curious about that.
Yeah, but I know they do
the Terrell.
They
Not like myself, but I've taken a tour there.
The people that are in jail like stay there too. I guess like people that have been sentenced to like
the competency restoration.
I know they stay there. Like that's a jail. Like it's a facility like that.
It's crazy, and like there's really not that many state hospital beds available because there's so many people like waiting competency restoration. So like they have state hospital beds at like Trinity Springs over at JPS. There's like a set number, and people who are ordered like committed, they'll stay there for a little bit, then they'll go to the state hospital. It's super interesting.
Yeah, it's a different setup how it's.
Interesting.
Because I always wondered, like, my brother lived out in Hawaii. He was in the Navy. And he was like, yeah, we have a problem. And I'm like, what?
It's bad in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
But he said people would put them on the planes and just send them there. And then once they get there, they have nowhere to go. I'm like, what?
What?
Yes. It is a thing.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of the weather. You got to think of the weather though.
Yeah,
like, the weather's nice probably majority of the time.
Yeah.
They said the weather's
on the
nice,
beach.
and then it's tourists, it's money. So they go out there and panhandle and survive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're talking about San Diego. It's like 74 degrees all year round
every
compared
day.
to Juneau, Alaska.
And you know how cold it is?
I can't.
Okay.
You're showing your looking.
Yes, I'm sorry. All right, so you said the sheriff's office?
Yep, Wichita County Sheriff's Office.
How was that?
Dude, I worked in the jail as a detention officer.
Yeah.
From, like I said, it was like 2011 to like 2014.
Yeah.
And so, really, it was one of the best jobs. It was fun. But you're adult babysitting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
all like pretrial detainees that can't get out of
Yeah.
bond, or people that have been back from like prison and they come back for like another charge, so they have to sit there in county court and wait for their case to be disposed of. And so I think a lot of the way I've learned how to talk to people, interact with people, is from there. Because you have people that have been there, they're there for like 2 nights because they got a ticket, they got to sit out. You got people that are going to be there for the rest of their life and they got nothing else to lose, and everything in between. And so you really learn to interact with people.
Yeah.
You got to be able to talk to these people without nothing. Like it's just you and them in a bird cage, and just like, all right, you need toilet paper, you need soap.
Yeah.
No, we can't do this. Yes, we can do this. And so you just really learn the difference of like how to interact with people in different parts of their lives as well. Like people that just got sentenced to life, and now they're coming back and they got to eat this food. Like you really ain't gonna want to eat, man. You just got told you're going to life in prison.
Yeah.
And so it was fun.
It's like, man, if you learn the humility part of it, you know, that's where you really learn how to be an officer or just a good person, because you can't judge, and then the minute you think you know better than somebody else, they're gonna show you. You know, because they'll point you out. They're like, okay, we're gonna handle this officer or whoever, because it's like, you know, you probably in there with what, 30, 50 people.
1 to 48.
God bless.
Wow.
1 to 48 was it?
Jeez.
Terrible.
But again, it's not bad. Like you meet people in every aspect of their life, in every walks of life. Like there's people there that were like successful businessmen that got caught up doing something.
Yeah.
People that come from the military base that did something that are now going to like Leavenworth. There's people that are just people that have been involved in crime all their life, and now they're going life in prison.
Yeah.
And so you just had to learn to interact and kind of not find common things in reality, because obviously I don't have somebody in common with some of them, but you just find things to talk to, relate to, and understand, and just have humility to it. Like, you know, you're not, this is my job, this is what I'm here for, you know what I mean? And you're there, and we just gotta have to live in peace for those 8 hours we're here.
Yeah.
So, and I did that all the way through college. So I worked there full time and went to college.
What did you study?
The typical
Criminal justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Golly, man, if I could go back,
I'm like, what?
yeah, the typical criminal justice. If I could go back, I would do something different. It's just that's what I chose.
Did you always want to go into law enforcement, or how did that end up for you?
I think it was just more the exciting part of like what the job can entail. Like I'm not the smartest guy in the world by any means, so like. Not good at English, not good with numbers. Like, this is just something like, you ain't got to be super smart to be a cop. But, like, this is like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And so.
I disagree. I'm not smart either.
So it was, I don't know if it's something I always wanted to do. I always was interested in it at a young age. Now, I didn't do like explorers or stuff like that, but it was always something I was interested in. I think just once I got to college, it was kind of the route it fell, and that's just how I ended up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, I just wanted to work outside with people. I came from corporate America. So I was like, man, sitting at a desk all day and
that
looking
ain't
at
fun.
numbers, and I was like, it drive me crazy.
Yeah.
So somebody was like, I think you'd be a good officer. What? Am I outside? Yeah. Okay, I won't do it.
Yeah. Then you look back like, it's cold out here. I don't want to be out here no more. That's how I thought. It's 6 degrees at the panhandle. I don't want to be out here directing traffic, man. That ain't fun. And so, but no, I did that through college, and it was a lot of fun. So I'd work I became a supervisor there, but I would work like 3 to 11 usually.
Yeah.
So I'd go to school in the morning and then go to work in the evening and then have the night. So I did that. I did that through college, and it was a good time. It really was. It learned, and even though you have to go through jail school, if you didn't know that, you got to get like a jailer's license, right? So it's like a jailer's license. It's like a peace officer license, but for jailers.
Yeah.
So I had a sheriff that was an old instructor of mine. His name was Tom Callahan, rest in peace. He was the old sheriff of Wichita County. He was a good guy. He's a real good guy. Well, I was smart, and I looked at my professor before I took my class. Like, which one's the easiest? Like, who's going to not give me the most work is who I need to take. And so, God love him, it was Tom, and then he'd give you, like, the review for the test. And the test might look very close to the same. And so when I got hired to the sheriff's office, I said, okay, you got to go to the sheriff's jailers academy. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Well, when it came time to go, it was like the fall, because I got hired like July 2011. This was like October. I had to go. Yeah. Well, I was in like 3 of Tom's classes. I was like, dude, that's 9 hours of college, plus I had to do like an athletics, so I did like a basketball or something. And I was like, what am I do? So I went to him and I was like, here's the deal. You were sheriff. You know I have to go to this class. Like, I have to take this. It's like 6 weeks, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I have to go. And he gave me the best deal. And it's probably why I stayed in college, because he's like, all right, you pass this, I'll give you an A in all my classes. You got to come back the rest of the semester.
Wow.
So
That's
he let me be gone for the 6 weeks to do that jailers academy. I came back, showing my license. He's like, yeah, don't worry about showing back up. You're good.
That's awesome.
That
So-
is not awesome.
Yeah,
I had to sit
no.
in every one of my classes and write a whole bunch of papers.
So
That
he did me a solid because honestly at that time I don't know, I was working like Olive Garden or something like that before, and I just had a kid, and so I was like, man, I really need something that's more money, more stable, like kind of some benefits. So I don't know where if I would have stayed in college if he wouldn't have done that, because I mean you're talking a fall break, a fall semester that I had to miss, and Lord knows if I had dropped out of a semester of college, I wouldn't have gone back. And so he really helped me. Like, in the basketball, like they didn't really care. It was like activity, your PE credit for college, and so they weren't really worried about that. And so he did that. I came back up 6 weeks later, showed my license, and he was like, "All right, you got 3 A's for my classes."
That's amazing.
Thank you,
That's
Tom.
so cool.
Yeah, he did me a solid on that.
Yeah. Wow. Look, he's over here like rethinking
You already know
everything.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
It's got leverage, man. It's all about leveraging
That's
sometimes.
it.
That's all that
See,
is.
you are smart.
Man.
You're just you're downplaying it. He's negotiating over here. I like it.
And
That's
so,
awesome.
I had my first son during when I was in college and stuff like that.
So how was that?
How was having a kid in college?
In college,
Dude,
yeah.
it was tough at first. You look back and not realize, like we lived in this ghetto apartment that I didn't realize what it was at the time. Me, my now wife, and my buddy. And so we all, those are the people I kind of came back to after high school and we ran around with. We all got an apartment together. Big mistake. And big mistake. And so it was tough. It was like, because I worked and she worked, and so we both went to college, and like luckily our mom helped out a lot watching the child, but it was just trying to like provide. And so, but luckily, like my mom did come in clutch and let me use her GI Bill, and so I was getting like $900 a month just to go to school, and I was blowing that,
awesome.
like I was living off that, and so we were just trying to make strings to just make it work. I mean, you gotta imagine I was 19, about to be 20. I had my first kid. I'm in college. Like I was just trying to survive. And so luckily we came through the other side and see it now.
So how long you been married?
Officially?
Yes. Oh, he go get
Hold on, 2016. Since 2016.
Oh,
That's it.
okay. All right.
October 21st, 2016.
So how old is your oldest boy?
8 years.
Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah.
My oldest boy, he is 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, little fun fact: when I started with the PD basketball team, I would see him in there, and I was like, "Man, who is this cat?" And let me tell you something: he gonna downplay it, but he can ball like
Really?
hell yeah,
Terrible, man. I'm terrible.
He gonna downplay.
I'm terrible,
That's
man.
cool.
I'm terrible.
I mean,
So-
it was that extracurrical college credit basketball class.
that one
did it.
class that got me.
That's what did it. Yeah.
Dude, fun fact, I tried to try out for the first college I went to, his basketball team. Me and my roommate, Delvon Atkins, we tried out. It didn't make it.
Didn't
We
happen.
make it. Not at all.
Was that with the top? What was
No,
it?
University of Central Oklahoma. That was my first college I went to, first year
Yeah,
in Edmond, Oklahoma.
and they didn't. You didn't make the team.
No.
What year were you there?
I graduated high school in 2009, so fall of 09, spring of 10.
Oh, my he's like my brother went out there.
Did
for he played football.
Okay. I had some high school classmates up there
Cool.
playing football there too. So they probably know
Nice.
each other because they was
Yeah.
Ben and Josh played Josh was a class before me and Ben was a class before him. So yeah, it was all around the same time.
Well, food on that college that cut my buddy. Sorry, we don't like him anyway.
Yeah.
No hard feelings.
Hell,
though,
Michael
right?
Jordan got cut a couple times. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
But that was like what, high school? Yeah, it was high school.
One time.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes over there. Okay.
All right.
Having a kid in college, it was tough. A lot of sacrifices. Like it wasn't like always out partying and stuff like that. It was really just work, go to school.
You were like grown, while the rest of us are still doing knucklehead stuff.
Well,
It's
and
like-
it helped a lot because, like I said, my parents got bad off in like the prescription medication, and so I had a little brother who's 6 years younger than me, and so I always kind of had that taking care of somebody because like my grandparents were older, like they weren't.
Yeah.
And so I always kind of had that like, hey, I gotta look out for him. I gotta.
Oh,
and so
okay.
I tell people I grew up really fast, really early. Because of what the situation I was. It didn't define who I was, but it definitely made me do things like I had to grow up. Like, I mean, unbeknownst, I was driving a car at 15 just to go to work without a license, just because I had to get to work. And so there was stuff I had to do that
That's
I
awesome.
just had to grow up early.
Yeah.
It is what it is at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in college, bro, and I'd turn around, and one lady would bring her daughter to class because she didn't have a babysitter. And the professor was like, he goes, I don't have a problem with that. If she'll sit back there and color. And I think he gave her a color book in one of my psych classes, And so I was like, man, that's dope. You know, because some people, everybody's route is different. But she's like, no, I'm going to get this education. I'm going to bring my daughter to school.
Yeah.
She's trying. She's
That's
better
what
herself.
teachers should, be doing, especially at that. I mean, in college, like people, like you said, all walks of life.
And everybody's at different phases of their life. Not everybody's just straight out of high school, going to college. It happens different for everybody.
In my master's program, it was the first semester. God bless this girl. She had given birth with her first child a week before the final on the test.
No.
She showed up with her newborn to take this final. I'm like, honey. And our professor, he put her off in her own room and let her do her thing with the newborn and she took her final. I was like, good Lord, we got emails. I'm sure he would have done something for you. But
I'm an OC. She got all the answers in the blanket right there. Like, I'll go in this room by myself. Go ahead.
She's got a
feed them.
Yeah, maybe she's probably pretty smart, but that was like
chess over there.
commitment.
That's good for her, man. Good for her.
Commitment.
Well, the flip side of this story is I had a homeboy who played football with us, and he came to college just to play one semester. And true story, I won't say names because this is so funny. But so we would go to, when you first get there in 2 days, you go and get your books. So they give you all these big old books, expensive, wrapped in plastic, brand new. So we go the whole semester, and at the end of the football season, Christmas break. So you go back to turn in your books. So we all in line, and we just, shooting the shit, talking. And we look, and he's turning in his books that have the same plastic on them.
Damn,
He didn't open up one book.
That's amazing.
He knew what he was there for. He ain't here for no education. We're gonna play.
I love
I
it.
just want to play one. True story. Yep, we never seen him
Good for
since.
him.
Yeah, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah. Good for him.
Showed back up like, same wrapping. You gotta check them. Same stuff y'all gave me.
I want all my money back.
yeah. These are not used. I promise. They're not used.
He's a friend.
Oh, God.
man.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you never played basketball in college?
Just through high school. Well,
That's
now and
crazy.
He
then.
did. It was just a class. It was a
Yeah,
class.
the PE credit. But I
It counts.
Yeah, count toward that degree. That's all that matters.
It counts.
And so, no, I never played in college, never tried out anywhere else, just
And your degree is in
criminal justice.
Criminal
criminal
justice.
justice.
Yeah.
All y'all with these criminal CJs.
Yeah.
So you're sheriff, right?
Yep, at the jail.
How does that? How did you transition to DPS?
Okay, so I worked the sheriff's office, like I said, for like 3 years. And my goal was, because I worked like in booking, like intake, essentially. And I was like, I'm just going to Wichita Falls PD. Like, it's kind of what I knew. It's who I saw the most of. Because, like, unlike here, where we have our own jail, they brought everybody to the county automatically. Okay. Everybody came to the county. Bam, bam, bam. And so I built relationships, knew people, and I was like, I'll just go there. It's easy enough. And then everybody was like, no, just go to the state. Go DPS. Go DPS. I was like, hey, to be honest with you, I didn't know nothing about it. I was like, I don't know nothing about it. Like, all right. You see them every once so often, but it wasn't like every day you see the city guys. And so I worked there, graduated. I graduated like in the summer or something like that of 13, but I couldn't walk till like
College?
December. Yep, summer of 13. But I couldn't walk till like December because they didn't have a graduation or whatever. Anyways, I digress. They were like, go to the state, go to the state, go to the state. And I was like, all right, I'll try out. Had no I'll try out, see what happens. And then that's how I went to DPS, is I just tried out, did the little road test. The worst test, the road tests are
horrible.
They're horrible.
So what is it?
A row?
You sit in a row.
Yeah,
like
just a
row.
row or just a
Because it's like, what, 2,000 or 3,000 meters?
2,000 meters.
Oh, you sitting there
Time.
for a while.
Oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
And like when you're done, the thing I tell people is like, it doesn't like physically hurt. Like you'll lift weights, you go squat, like next day your leg hurt. Like, dude, it's just like you are done. You're gassed. You used everything in your body. And so I did that through DPS, and I passed that, and then went to the polygraph and all that, passed that, and then got a job with them. And I started the academy like January, I don't know, like 4th or something like that, 11th, 2014. And so that's how I went from the sheriff's office to DPS.
So with DPS Academy, is that the one where they send you to Austin?
Austin.
Okay.
6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, so like
6
you go
months.
stay.
Live there.
Yeah.
Quasi military is what they is
Yeah.
how they do it.
Yeah.
There's only 2 academies in Texas that you live in during the academy.
Isn't that that fitness program out
Fitness,
there
yeah,
pretty
fitness too.
brutal?
Yep.
From what I've heard.
Back then it was Sergeant Davis, but I think he's like Staff Lieutenant Davis now. But it was brutal. It was brutal. But the thing, and I tell people, this is a little secret about that. So y'all remember when CrossFit was real big? Okay, there was a workout called Fight Gone Bad. And it was like, what'd you have to do? You had to throw wall balls up. You had to do step ups. You had to do like, you had to clean something. I think there was one more. It was like time. You had to do so many reps. I promise you, for like 4 of those months, we did that test over and over and over every day in different parts of it. One day we would just sit there all day and throw wall balls up in the air to a certain height, 20 feet or 15 feet, whatever. Throw it up there. One day all we do is drop box jumps, step ups all day. And because back in the day they used to do like all just push ups, sit ups.
Yeah.
And they got away from that and started doing like the CrossFit stuff and functional fitness and that's how we did that test over and over and it took forever to do. But I mean it was good. Lieutenant Davis, he's very smart. He knows a lot about fitness and wellness and that whole program. They incorporated like yoga into it and they did a deep dive. Now they do like other departments go down there and learn and stuff like that.
We had looked into that because we brought in a yoga training with a couple of former DPS. Well, I think one of them is still a DPS instructor, and she's a yoga instructor. And then Lacey, I think she was like over the wellness curriculum of it or yoga curriculum of it for a few years a while back.
That name sounds familiar. I don't remember.
Lacey Wolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skinnier lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she was. Yeah, because like we would like Lieutenant Davis would do the workouts, and then like the females would come in and do like the yoga and stuff like that. So like some days, I tell you, man, like getting up at 4 a.m. to go lay on the mat and yoga, those were the best days to go work out. Like, we're doing yoga today. Thank God. We're doing yoga. But it was tough. Like actually, it was really tough. Like doing some of those positions like this. These hurt.
Oh yeah.
So
There was that one.
What
What was her name? Alexis, the real small, like buff one. And she, and some of hers, it was like, okay.
Yeah. Some of those positions hurt.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that was that. So, yeah, I was there from January, it was like 11th or something like that, 2014 to June 20th, 2014 is when we graduated DPS Academy.
So when you graduate, did they give you like a list? Okay, Chris, you need to pick a place of where you want to go, or is it nope? We're gonna send you to Big Bend, Texas? And you're like,
so
where is that?
Kind of. It's quasi that. So what they do is in the middle of the academy, and they do it different nowadays. I think nowadays like they're doing like station assignments before you go, so you know like, hey, I'm gonna go down, but I know I'm coming back to Dallas, or I know I'm going to East Texas, or I know I'm going there. So, but then you go there, and they say, hey, these are the spots that we need our troopers the most. Okay, and so what region do you want to go to?
Gotcha.
And so it's all broken up to different regions. It's like there's like 6 regions if I remember right. So I won Region 5 because like my wife was still in college at Midwestern State, and Region 5 is the Panhandle of Texas. And so I got the Panhandle, and then after that, like captains come in. So you have different captains for different like subsections of that region, and then you kind of choose what subsection you want. So I got 5B, which was like Childress, Memphis, Canadian, Pampa, east of Amarillo, essentially. East of Amarillo, kind of down to Vernon, where Vernon is. That's where it ends. And so I got stationed in Childress, Texas when I came out of the academy. And so...
I have no idea where that is.
So you've been Colorado, New Mexico?
Yeah.
All right, so you take 287. You take 287 up, when you get to Amarillo?
Yeah.
All right, so backtrack like 2 hours. It's like halfway between Wichita Falls and Amarillo. It's like a one stoplight town. They got a pilot. Yeah, and so it's US 63 287. And so that's where I was stationed when I came out of the academy.
So it's just cold as crap.
It's windy too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's like open plains.
Oh yeah, there ain't no trees up there. This is a lot different from East Texas. There's it's flat. I mean, somebody takes off running, go ahead. I'll watch you run. There ain't nothing. So it was it was real flat, and he's right. In the winter, it's cold, but the wind is really what did it. It just cuts through you.
Yeah.
And so, that's what I did then. I graduated, went to Childress. And so I did a year there, which was fun. I mean, I learned a lot, right? So it was a year there, and like I remember specifically one time, it was around Thanksgiving time. It snowed up there and iced, and so the way it works up there is like sergeant regions are based on size of populations.
Okay.
So I was in Childress. Like Childress County's got like 3,000-4,000 people in it, right? So we incorporated like Childress County, and there's a county north of us, Collinsworth County, which is Wellington, Texas, which has even less people in it. And then you go up one more, and it's Wheeler County, where like Pampa, I-40 kind of connects all the way to Amarillo. And then we had one other county, I'll be lying if I remember, but it's like there's one to it was Memphis, Texas. I forget what the county is. But I had a crash on I-40 I had to go to. I'm the only trooper on, and I'm in Childress, Texas. And it was icy. Hey, it took me every bit of 2.5 hours to get up there. Just drive Miss Daisy. I ain't wrecking my Charger to get up there. Like, so, and the sheriff's office had it shut down. And I just take one. Like, all right, it's icy. Like, I'm coming. It's just gonna give me a minute to get there.
Or you can do it.
Yeah.
We've had like, I can come. I no problem coming all day, but it's gonna take me a minute.
Yeah.
So just pack a lunch.
Jeez, that's
So it was
crazy.
Fun. Yeah, and so like I said, it was a different experience. Like it's a small town. It's a very small town. Like at night there'd be like one sheriff deputy on, and it was usually this guy named like Kenneth A. Rand. He was our K-9 officer. And there might be 2 city cops for Childress on.
Wow.
Maybe.
Wow.
Did y'all have dispatch?
So the way DPS works is they have a dispatcher, but my dispatcher was in Amarillo. Okay. And so the county obviously has theirs, and the county there dispatched for the city and the county. I listened. I listened, like scanned it to see some, but like they would call Amarillo and be like, "Hey, you're needed in Shamrock," because I wouldn't scan Shamrock at the same time I'm scanning Childress.
Yeah.
And so if Shamrock or Pampa or wherever needed us, they'd call Amarillo, and Amarillo would be like, "Hey, you got a crash on I-40," or "Hey, you got a crash on 287, you need to go too."
Wow. But you can do that in a region that small. Like I'm just trying to think like it obviously doesn't happen that way out here because there's no way with call load.
No. Well, and you also got to realize like their responsibilities is like highway safety, and so like we didn't get. Now we would go help. Don't get me wrong, especially because it's small. But like when I was in Ellis County in Waxahachie, it was a lot different. But like up there, like we would go help with domestics because there might be only one officer on, or we might go help with more like city type calls.
Yeah.
But like when I was in Childress, like that happened less because it's more populated. There's more police officers everywhere. There's more sheriff's deputies everywhere. But up there, you kind of get a gamut of everything because there's just not a lot of people there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of cops there.
What did you prefer?
Like
as far as call type? Did you like working the crashes and that kind of stuff?
I got deep into it actually. I really enjoyed the mathematics of it. And as much as I hate math and I'm not smart at it, I went to a level 2 crash course at DPS and I actually fell in love. Like it was real cool to see like how cars move and trajectory of them and angles and stuff you had to know. And so like I went to like level 2, level 3, and level 4 crash like back to back. And I became like on our district crash team and like reconstruction crashes.
That's cool.
And it was cool to learn.
Yeah.
And I think it was just cool to see how cars actually interact and stuff like that.
And so he's smart.
Yeah,
No.
He's like doing all this cool
Teach
shit.
a monkey anything, I guess. It's not hard. And so and that's what I did. So I did get deep into the crashes. Now, up there, I like to do drug interdiction, and that's kind of Region 5 was known for. And I'm not by any means any good at it. Like, blind squirrels find nuts every now and then, but I did find some loads of dope going from the East Coast down to the Dallas area and stuff like that, or from Mexico up to Dallas. So that was fun, and I try to focus on that. And both sergeants I had in DPS were real good about like just find something you're good at and do it because you had a lot of freedom. It wasn't like I didn't have to go answer like dog calls or stuff like this all the time. I had the ability to kind of freelance almost. Like I'm gonna go work this part of the road today. I'm gonna go work this part of the road today.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for DWIs real hard. I'm gonna do this real hard. And so as long as you just did something and were good at it, they really stayed off your back.
Yeah.
They really they're really good to you.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
I
freedom.
would be in reconstruction school, and I, just back there banging cars together. That's all I got. KD, what happened? They went like this. Boom.
See these 2 Hot Wheels right here? Boom, we're done.
Sir, can you draw it? No, I can show you though. Look, boom.
I know you're not lying too.
It's tough.
You don't want me on your accident.
Hey,
Trust
it was tough.
I'm
It was
walking
fun.
out there. Why was you going so fast? You knew you couldn't control that car. That's me.
God.
You know that curve is sharp? What you
Yeah.
doing?
Well, You're so good at what you do.
We found your position now.
he's found his calling.
We good now.
Oh man.
Oh, so you're up there.
Yep.
Doing DPS. When did you make the move out of DPS?
So I was there for a year. So your first duty station when you come out of DPS, you have to be there a year, minimum of a year. And so then every month they have listings opening of what's open in the state. And so you could go wherever, but it's based on seniority. So if I had like 5 years on, you have a year on, and we both want to go back to Lufkin.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go to Lufkin.
Yeah.
And Katie's like, I want to go to Lufkin. And we both put in for it. Well, buddy, you're going to have to wait a little longer because I got more time on you. So I go to Lufkin. And so I was in level 3 or level 2 crash school in Austin for 2 weeks. And I met a guy there named Craig Henry, and he was from Waxahachie. Well, I wanted to transfer to Dallas. My wife's getting ready to done with school. Actually, she already graduated school. There was nothing really in Childers. They had like one hospital, and they were going to try to make her work nights. I was like, it's not going to work out for the family. And so I was like, we'll go to Dallas area, a lot more job opportunities, a lot more stuff we can do. And I was thinking like either Terrell, Denton, or Waxahachie. All kind of surrounded the sides of Dallas because I didn't want to be a tollway trooper at all. And met a guy named Craig Henry, and he was like, hey, just come through Waxahachie when you go back to Childers. Meet the sergeant, kind of see you around, kind of make a decision. So drove up there, met the sergeant, saw the office, and I was like, seems like a cool place. And then transferred to Waxahachie from Childers, and I was there the last like 5 years. I was at DPS.
Yeah.
And so...
Nice.
Well, then, how did you go from there to GP?
Okay. Well, it goes back to working at the detention center in college. I knew Detective Sullivan.
Oh.
Okay, we went to college together.
no
We worked
way.
at the jail together. And
That's
so
cool.
we've always we've always been friends since for years. And so we've always kept in touch. And so when I went to DPS in 2014, I graduated June 2014. He started his academy like a month or two before I graduated with
His
GP.
academy here.
Out
His
here?
academy here,
Okay.
with his academy here. And so we always just kind of stayed in touch. And then when I transferred to Waxahachie from Childers, I moved to Mansfield.
Yeah.
Well, by luck, he lived in Mansfield. We lived like a mile apart from each
wow.
other. And so we stayed in touch. And
Yeah.
then we bought houses in Waxahachie at different times. And they just ended up being right down the road
my
from each other. So
gosh.
we've always just kind of stayed close. Yeah. And so
That's awesome.
so with DPS, if you didn't know, they had they call it like Operation Secure Texas, and so we were going down to the border.
Yeah.
And so we were going to the border once a month, every month for a week. Right. Now, mind you, at this point, I got one kid, and now I've had my second kid, and we're going once a week
Man.
for a month, or once a month for a week at a time. So like my
Every
first
month.
4 years, I was at the Valley for a year of it, just based on like numbers and time going
Yeah.
down, right? And so I was gone all the time. If I wanted to go do a training that the state held, I had to go to Austin. You know, I'm going to Austin. The
Yeah.
Hurricane Harvey, I have to go down to Houston.
Yeah.
And so it was fun. Now, don't get me wrong, the job was fun. I had a lot of fun. I have no qualms about it. I had a qualm that they had the rule of 85 for retirement. I had to work till I was like 60. But outside of that, like they gave us a lot of freedom. We had a lot of good training. We got to file our own cases, do our own investigations.
Yeah.
We learned a lot. And so, but it was just taxing on home, right? Like at the drop of a dime, like this hurricane that happened in Houston, they could be like, hey, you're going to Houston tomorrow, pack your bags. Like, well, no, you got to go to Houston tomorrow, pack your bags.
Yeah.
All right. And so it was taxing on the family.
Yeah, that's rough.
And so my buddy, Detective Sullivan, was like, hey, just come to Grand Prairie. And so Jesse Ross, he was in my academy DPS.
Yeah.
So we went to the academy together.
Oh,
And so I've had a
no
connection.
way.
And then like, it just so happened that people that Sullivan hung out with, like we'd hang out at his house or my, like I just kind of knew people in Grand Prairie, and just kind of was one of those things of like, all right, like if I'm thinking to leave, I'll come to Grand Prairie when we had Chief Die here, and so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. If I don't get in, like I'm fine with DPS, I'm happy, like it's fine, I'll make it work. But if I do get in, I'll get in. So I tested, and bam, bam, here we are.
When'd you test here?
Oh, don't get me lying. Like 5 years. Okay. I tested. Our academy was supposed to start like a week after the accident with AJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's when, because that was like 5 years ago. And so they pushed our academy back to start like August. And so that's when I started. So I tested probably a couple months before
Gotcha.
that.
So what was that? Like 2019?
Yes,
Around there?
something like that.
Yes,
Yep, something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, so you haven't been here too long.
No, I think I become vested in August or something like
There you
that.
go.
Hey, hold on.
There you
Important
go.
things you have to know. Investing is one of them. All right, so
I'm a year away.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
vested then, and so yeah.
And is it all TMRS?
No.
So-
It DPS was ERS, Employee Retirement System, and then the county was TDCRS,
Yeah,
Texas
so something
District.
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
crap.
so which is fine. So
Yeah.
TMRS does a solid. They took my time, but not my money.
Yep.
I was done when I left the state anyways, and pulled the money and like that. But
I did too.
I pulled the money when I left the state too, because like I was only getting like $600 a month or a year off making it. So I pulled and bought a rent house. So all my time counts, but when it comes to retirement, like I could technically retire, I think, in like 2031, but like the money won't be there, nothing like that. So
Yeah.
I'll be around for a while.
Interesting. I didn't realize they did ERS.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the difference between GPs? Well, I guess we talked about the row versus the traditional running, push-ups, sit-ups.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
The row.
Yeah.
I think as I get older, like I don't like running that much anymore. Like it's bad on my knees. It feels like,
true.
and so
I'm there with you.
the rowing, like as much as the rowing sucks and it's not fun, like all right. I do my 2,000 meters. I lay on the floor for 2 minutes, 3 minutes after it, and then I can get up and finish my day. Like it hurts, it sucks.
Yeah.
But like it's the run is like, dude, my knees hurt like
Yeah.
days later, and the push-up sit-ups, they're not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's just that running. I like the ones. Honestly, I like the ones that are more like not skill based, but like go with the job.
Yeah,
like,
reality-based.
reality-based
Yeah.
training. Like pull this dummy a couple feet. Like let me do some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't like rowing. Like because you think about. It's odd that's the way that system works because like the bigger you are, the faster you got to row. Like somebody that's 300 pounds, you got to fast time to row 2,000 meters. Like you got to be moving.
Yeah.
But somebody that's light, just because they can't generate enough force on that machine to row, and they get a longer time. So to me, that's kind of cattywampus,
Yeah.
but it is what it is, I
Yeah.
guess.
Cattywampus.
Cattywampus.
I'm gonna
Okay,
start
hold
using
on.
that.
Cattywampus.
Cattywampus. Write it down.
Cattywampus.
Try to spell this
Write it.
here.
Well, you got to sound it out syllable by syllable because I'm not sure.
Cattywampus.
Is that even? That is a real word. I
gotta
just
be.
have never seen it
it's-
spelled.
Probably in Lufkin. I'm gonna put that next to I from Wayfrom. Have you ever heard?
I'm from Wayfrom.
Yeah, I from Wayfrom. Like, boy, you better get out from away from that car. It ain't yours. You
Hold
gonna-
on. Okay.
Wayfrom.
Yeah.
Run that back to me a little slower.
Yeah, we'll talk
Get,
about
get
it.
away from that car.
I'm from Wayfrom.
I'm from Wayfrom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out from Wayfrom.
Okay.
Out from Wayfrom.
Out from
Out
Wayfrom.
from- I thought you were saying I from Wayfrom.
Out from Wayfrom.
Out from away from that
Oh.
car.
Yeah.
That makes more sense now
Okay.
as you break it down
Out
to
from
me.
away from
yeah.
that car. Out.
Get away
Okay.
from that. Out away from that car.
Can you write that one down for me? Make a little note. Make a little side note. The only thing in Arkansas is really Jeet yet.
G
G-Yet?
G-Yet?
Yeah, I ate this morning.
Yeah, Jeet yet.
Yeah. I've been told I'm country, but I argue that one.
Well,
Sames.
I'm sure there's the last podcast we did. Oh yeah, with you when we talked about Tyson Chicken.
Yes.
Do you know he was in a commercial?
Tyson
A
chicken.
Tyson Chicken commercial.
You know what? I've been away from commercial chicken. I raise my own chickens now.
Did you? You really are country.
He could be your
Yeah, some meat
slogan
birds, baby.
boy.
Meat birds.
Meat bird.
Meat
Jumbo
bird.
Cornish meat birds.
Jumbo Cornish.
Yeah.
Meat.
Raised them from a baby and killed them.
Hit us with the slogan.
Good.
Good. They were good, man.
Anyway.
I can't help myself.
I'm going to get on Google now and look that one up.
I
you
tried.
Won't, you won't find it.
I tried to get on YouTube to find his
Nothing?
commercial. I
Yeah,
can't find it.
You won't find it.
Yeah.
It never aired. We just shot it.
It's got to be somewhere.
Be real clip or something.
All right, so how many kiddos do you have now?
Got 3 kids.
Oh, what
Three.
the ages?
13, 6, and 3.
Whew, man. That's a full house.
2 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah.
How is it? I'm just always curious the
Okay.
difference between boys and girls. Do you see a big difference in how it was to raise a boy from a girl?
Yes. So far, I mean, like my daughter's only 3, so my wife would argue that like I baby her more than anybody. 'Cause my boy's like, "Hey, I'll quit crying. Like, go do something, get away." But like, ain't nothing, my girl can't do nothing wrong. That's
Yeah.
princess. Like,
Yeah.
it's so I probably spoil her more than anything, and so that's probably the hardest. Now, luckily, my wife's very good, so she potty trained them all. Like,
oh, nice.
in a weekend, like she does.
Yeah.
She has like
potty
she can write a book
boot
about
camp.
it, dude. She she does it good. Now, they might pee on my floor on the weekends, but like when she was doing it, but dude, she gets it down packed quickly.
I'm gonna have to take notes from her.
Yeah, dude. With boys, it was easy. Like, they just ran around the house naked and fed them like salty foods. Bathroom every 30 minutes. Weekends. In a weekend, they were done. Both of them. Girl was a little harder, but she did hurt. Like she was quick with her too, and so I gotta give her for that. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's just the way to do it, from what I hear. Like rather than like a slow process where you take a lot of time. Yeah. Just like it's a potty training boot camp. That's what I hear a lot of people do.
It works.
I like that.
Just a weekend and they're done after that. Yeah.
And she just fed them like I can't remember if it's like salty foods that make them drink more water, which in turn will make them go to the bathroom more. Or something like that. She gotta feed them, and like every 30 minutes on the dot. Put them in a regular diaper. If they pee on themselves. Like, you don't like that feeling, don't you?
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Cloth diaper.
No,
Oh.
no, like pants, like regular underwear.
Yeah, regular
you pee on
underwear.
yourself, you ain't gonna like that.
Yeah, I did it yesterday.
Yeah, you didn't like that, did you?
Nope.
And so it worked. It worked out.
Yeah.
So I won't do it today.
Yeah, you won't do it today. Yeah. Lord love her, she did all that because I did not want nothing to do with that.
That'd be brutal.
Yeah.
That'd be brutal. So how are your kids with what you do? Do they understand it? Do they think it's cool?
Yeah, so my oldest, my two will understand it. And it's funny, my daughter's starting to realize it. Like I was getting dressed the other day for work and I had to put my gun on. She's like, why you got a gun? I was like, well, in case someone wants to shoot me, honey. She's like, you can shoot him? I'm like, yeah. That's the plan. I want to get shot. Yeah. So they understand it, and they're pretty accepting of it. And so, like I said, my oldest has been there before I was a cop now, so he's kind of seen it. But my younger two I've always been a police officer since they were little, so that's kind of all they know. And I always tell them. They always ask me if I'm getting dressed for like, where you going? Gotta make that money, honey, man. Gotta again. So it's kind of my daughter's mantra now. Gotta make that money, honey, for me. So they understand, and they don't really ask too many questions about it. I'm pretty open about things. I mean, I hide some things and say certain things, but I'm pretty open about what I do and stuff like that with them.
That's good. Well, it's got to be nice too for the older ones who, well, at least the oldest one who was there with you whenever you were DPS and coming and going. It's got to be nice that you at least have that schedule where you're coming home and not getting sent out.
So that was a big thing. Is like with DPS, I worked. So in the Panhandle, I worked 2 weeks a days, 2 weeks a nights. Now don't look crazy. It's not 2 weeks overnight. All right, that town closed up at 8:00, so I was done with work by 11:00. So I know you're about to say like, oh man, overnight for 2 weeks. No, so they don't work. They base their schedule on what the county kind of does.
Yeah.
So like in Ellis County. On the weekdays, if I had to work over the night shift, I work till 1 a.m. on the weekdays, 3 a.m. on the weekends. Because like the bars would close down. Well, they have the Rocket Bar, but there was a couple bars that closed down late, so we'd just stay out late enough, and at 3 a.m. we'd be done. Yeah. And so when I was in Ellis County, we worked a month of days and a month of nights. A month of days, a month of nights. And so, dude, it's taxing. It's rough. That constant body switching.
Yeah.
Especially in Childers, you didn't work that late, but it's always like the later shift, night shift, later shift, and morning shift.
Yeah.
But like here, it was pretty. Like this set schedule stuff, you can't beat it, man. Like I know, like especially when I was on patrol, I worked these 3 days, these 4 dadays, 6 days, and it was very. I know when I'm working, I know when I'm off, and I can schedule. So with DPS, you had to. We end up when I left, it was 50-hour work weeks, and so 5 10-hour shifts. Okay. And so then you have 2 days off. Well, you have to have 2 days off in the week. You only get one long weekend a month, so only one weekend a month you'd be off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Damn.
And they backed up your scheduled days off weren't always the same.
Yeah.
But like
That's
my sergeant in Waxahachie, he did me a solid because I was like, I don't mind working. I'll work Saturday as long as I can have like Sunday, Monday off. If you gave me every Sunday, Monday off, I'll work every other day. And so I gave away my long weekends. In return, I got every Sunday off to go to church. And that was kind of our family day and stuff. It was very consistent. So they have a lot of flexibility in kind of the work and stuff like that. And there are some things that are like I like over there that I didn't like coming here doing, stuff like that.
That's what sold me here, bro. You know, I tell this story all the time, but it was like, Chief Dad's like, hey, no, your family is not more important or less important than this 20-year officer. Everybody on patrol is going to get a Saturday. And I'm like, nah, because where I come from, you have to be on 18 years to get a Thursday, Friday.
Right.
He was like, no. you're gonna be off every other Saturday. And I was like, shit, sign me up.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go.
nice. It's nice.
Not
And
a lot
knowing
of
that-
departments
No.
do any do it in this area outside of here.
Not that I'm aware of. Nope.
I don't know, because I know like in Walk Saturday, they have like a Panama schedule where they're like rotating days. It's like certain days. And
brutal.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's brutal.
And them trying to tell me what they work. I was like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
If I have to write stuff down,
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
do math.
Yeah.
No. When am I off? He was like, every other Saturday you're gonna be off. I was like, sign up.
I'm here.
Sold.
I'm
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and those are some things. It's when I came here on FTO, there were some things that I didn't wear a radio with DPS. Yeah, I know it's weird. I know
That is very weird.
I know, but
sir.
I wasn't issued a radio at the academy. It's just one of those things. I know y'all gonna look at me crazy.
I am.
Yeah. Trust me, I got. And then, in the academy, they told communication I didn't have a radio. And the lady almost broke down crying because I didn't. I was like, it's just the way it was. I was trained without a radio. I had a car radio, but other than that, it was just me, violator, side of the road. That's all we got. And so I had to learn things like that. Going to lunch, in briefing, you got to sign up your little time sheet.
Yeah.
I remember first briefing. David Stout was my first FTO, but I knew Stout before I got here. Stout was like, "Hey, Chris, what time you want to go to lunch tonight?" I was like, "I don't know, bro. Whenever I get hungry." He's like, "We'll figure it out." He's like, "Oh, no, you got to sign up for time." Like, but what if I'm not hungry at 2 a.m.? Like, what if I'm hungry later? He's like, "No, we got to have a time." Like, I guess just sign up for time, dude. I don't know.
Total just discombobulation. Like they
Yeah.
were like, sign this, and I'm like, what is this? You going to lunch? And that's the same thing I'm thinking. Like, no, bro, I don't know when I'm gonna be ready to eat.
No, and that was with DPS. Like we had our times. Like we go like lunch at 11, dinner at 7. Like we had our times where we kind of knew as a group when we were gonna go eat together. But like just to write it down, like I'll just go whenever I'm hungry. Like I don't need a time sheet. And so
He had to borrow his wife's potty training regimen schedule.
I had to train my body. Like I need to make sure I'm ready to eat at this time.
Body is a machine.
And so so there were some things that was like, all right, this is a little different, but it worked out in the end. It's all right.
Interesting. Okay. So you're on patrol.
Okay.
SRO
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Was
Yeah.
that the first specialized thing that you've done here? Or?
No, they suckered me into drones quickly. As soon as I got here.
Was it Greg? Greg's
no, it was
new.
before Greg.
It was,
It was Basili and Luke Reed. And so I think something that benefited me here that might not other people is I had relationships with people before I got here. So because of Sullivan and his friends here, I kind of quasi knew all the same people he went to the academy with.
Yeah.
And so when we'd hang out, I knew them. So like coming in, Stout being my FTO, God love him. He let me off with a grace the first day because the first morning I was driving down the road. He came back to section about 5 a.m. and goes, just go ahead and go home, bro. I know you're tired. And so if I had somebody else who didn't know that probably wouldn't have been the case.
Yeah.
And so when I got here, I went through FTO, got on Niceby and Luke Reed and Basili, and that's when like Common and Stout and Johnson and all of them were on the north side, and I kind of got plugged in with them. Like, oh, you want to do the Strone? I was like, yeah, I guess. Little I know, they got me on that one. So I was there.
Suckered ya.
Suckered me into it,
Yep.
dude. So I got on that. That was kind of like the first specialized thing I did, and then I became an FTO, and then I went over to SRO.
Okay.
I think August or something like that. Will be 3 years over there now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
And you're doing good.
I hope I haven't been fired yet, so I guess I got to be on the up and up somewhere.
Word on the street.
Word
you're
is,
doing
all
What,
right,
good.
what
You're
school
doing
are you
pretty
at?
good.
I am at Dubisky High School.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Dealing with high
gotcha.
schoolers.
it's not bad. Here's the thing about Dubisky. Obviously, we had 2 different high schools. When I'm like was focused on like the sports and other extracurriculars. Dubisky has no sports. Okay, they're all it's a career ready school, and so like you got to apply to get in there. So luckily, like there's like they have issues every now and then, but it's not like Grand Prairie High School or South Grand Prairie. Like this is like kids got to apply. You can be kicked out of this school and stuff like that. So it's not bad, and so which is giving me the time to learn how to like file cases within the SRO unit. They let me do that now because it's something I wanted to do and stuff
Cool.
like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So was it a big transition for you to go from DPS, where you're kind of a one-man show, to being in a culture like GP, where it's very, I mean, you're working beats with people out there?
So it was a big change. So like something I had to do with DPS, like you just had to arrest people on your own.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was times like I was in the Panhandle and there'd be nobody out. I had eight dudes lined up in the bar ditch by myself. And I just tell them, I just go, keep walking, look at the railroad, and I'll tell you when to stop.
Oh, my
God.
God.
And they keep walking. I'm like, stop. All right, look at the railroad. Next guy, come on out. Start walking. And like just people lined up on the bar dish
Jeez.
while I got to search this car. It's because there's just nobody there.
Yeah.
Like the city's got one, county might not have nobody on, so
That's
I'm
scary.
operating by myself. And so when you get here and you got people that like you got to have a back to arrest somebody.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
I was at an apartment complex in Grand Prairie, and first time this lady had a parole violation. I was on FTO, Stout was there. Parole violation came up, confirmed it. All right, lady, stand up. And Stout was like, whoa, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, she's going to jail, dude. She's like, you got to wait for her back. And I was like, all right, sit back down, lady. And 5 seconds later, the back came up. He's like, all right, stay back up. And he's like, yeah, you just got to wait for her back to get there. And there was like some odd things like that. Like I'm not used to talking on the radio. When I was DPS, we did everything on the computer. If I needed a traffic stop, type play it in Alt 3. That was my traffic stop. It pinged, communications knew where I was and stuff like that. And I ran people on my computer. And then if I needed to confirm something, then I'd get on the radio and be like, hey, this person got a warrant, we confirm it. So there was things like that with DPS. Like you just didn't call for backs. Hey, I'm gonna be out doing SSTs, and that was it. I don't like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. They might call it, and we use our cell phones a lot. Again, I didn't have a radio, so like if I went from lunch on my computer, I'd just be like, call cell, available by cell, and I'd be having lunch or whatever. They'd call my cell like, hey, you got to crash or you got something you need to go do. And so there was difference like that. And I struggled. I struggled with radio communication when I first got here. That was my biggest thing, is because I never used them. I didn't listen. I never listened to the radio because I wasn't used to listening to a radio. I was used to just cruising, doing my own thing. And so
he's driving in the FTO hitting like, bro, they're
it was.
Radio. He's like, I hear the radio.
yeah. Sounds like they're talking to you. You gonna answer them? Yeah. And it was. It was.
He gets
stuff,
on call myself.
call myself. Yeah, available
Call
myself.
myself.
And so it was stuff like that I just was not used to. I wasn't used to like running everybody over the radio or calling out plates or making traffic stops on the radio. I was used to just, hey, listen to my they call it Good Times Radio. So listen to my Good Times Radio and just handling business. And so there was some stuff like that. Like we didn't have body cams at first at DPS. Yeah. And so like it was used to like turning the sun and stuff. And so there was some differences like that. And there were some cool things like I like the camaraderie. So like DPS, there's like 3,000 troopers. So there's like, you go someplace with people and you're like, I have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea. But here, for the most part, you know everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know kind of where everybody is. Now, there's some people on nights I've never heard of, like names, like I don't know who that is. But like I promise you, if I go work patrol, I'd probably figure out, like, okay, this who's is. But yeah, I like that. And those are the big differences. There's some certain learning curves and stuff like that. A big thing I was worried about was like geography. Yeah. Imagine when I stopped the car, I was like, I-35, milepost 391.
Yeah.
I know where I'm at. Milepost 387. I know where my county lines are. I know U.S. roads, FM roads.
Yeah.
Here's like 100 block of.
Yeah.
All right, that's why. It was stuff like that, and it made me nervous, like stressing, like. There's no way I'm gonna know all these streets in Grand Prairie. There's no way I'm gonna know. And so luckily we got their maps and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm not gonna know all these house numbers. I don't know. And they would let me struggle. I didn't realize houses counted by 4 or 2. I was like, all right, 91. I don't know where 92 is. And I'm looking. They're like, you gotta go down. It's like, all right. So there was. I was a cop, 6-7 years before coming here, and there was a lot of stuff I didn't know. And city work and DPS work is a big difference.
Yeah.
There's stuff like DPS. I was responsible for filing my own cases.
Yeah.
I had to write my own search warrants, my own arrest warrants, and so there was big. Like I hear, dude, I asked Chief Brandon now, like, hey, like if I catch an intox manslaughter on a car wreck, like when am I have time? Am I still answering calls? He's like, oh no, you ain't gotta worry about that. Just write your little report and like So I didn't realize. Like once you do your little thing, it goes to somebody else. With DPS, I was responsible for. Like we had intoxication manslaughter. I was responsible for doing the report, for doing the investigation, for doing the arrest report, the rest. And so there were some differences like that where it took me a lot to like, okay, it's not that bad.
It wasn't just you. So I arrested somebody by myself, and then you get to talking too.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. I was like,
okay, my bad.
Yeah,
I arrested. I arrested
You want me to be
couple
safe?
hundred
What?
people by myself.
And it was normal for me to do it. It was normal for me to sit people in the front seat of my patrol car and interview them.
Yeah,
that's how I learned in Region 5 is to interview drivers that you think is suspected of a crime. Like, just interview them in your front seat while you're doing your computer work and stuff like that and writing their warning or whatever. So, like, not doing that. And it took me a long learn, like, to pull people out of the car to interview them and stuff like that here, like, just kind of ways around it. But, yeah, there were some learning curves on it. For sure.
I could imagine. Well, it's got to be nice now that you're able to file some cases and get to work SRO where you have like that scope where you can see things out like you did.
Yeah, and that was it. Now, obviously, there's always some nuances that are a little different from department to department, but for the most part, like warrants and stuff and how things are done, like it's not as daunting. Like some people, like, I gotta file a case. Like it's not that daunting. Like, there's a lot of things that it's really easy for people. It's not bad. So I don't mind it at all.
For sure,
I enjoy it.
Very cool.
When's the next basketball game?
July 27th. I ain't confirmed yet. Takesha asked earlier. I haven't confirmed on it yet. But it's you gonna go play?
I don't. Depend on how my ankle feels. So I rolled my ankle real bad about a month ago. 2 months.
We need that motor, man. Hold on. He wants to talk about me. This guy right here. He runs and runs and we're hands on our hips, dying. And Katie is doing this. Like, yeah, bro, go get the ball. Just go. We're way down here.
He's Energizer Bunny
he
for
is,
sure.
and it's jealousy of me because I'm just like, I don't know how to do it, dude. I'm dying right now. Get the AED ready, and Katie's just running. Just easy work. Like, yeah, guys, are we ready for next game? Like, no, we're done, man. We're done. And so,
he like snapped his ankle a couple of weeks ago, and I was out with him on a follow-up. He was driving me around. I'm like, hey, this one's pretty high risk. Just briefing him, and he's like, okay, well, let's stay a little bit close to the car because my ankle's kind of a little jacked up. And he starts telling me, I'm like, KD, no, like, go home,
moment, KD, we needed
go
you.
home. Like, you should be on a scooter right now. This guy.
And then I came up here on a scooter.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun for you.
Yeah,
it was fun for us. Just to see you wheeling around. It slowed him down
like
a little bit. I think that was nice. Yeah.
And I put the badge on the front.
Hey, man. Put some little lights on there.
A little basket. Yeah, it was cute.
That's where I'm at. I'm stuck now.
Oh, man. All right, so before we get out of here, we always ask everybody that sits in the hot seat, what advice would you give somebody that wants to be police?
What advice I would give somebody nowadays? Don't listen to outside noise. Like, if you know that's something you want to do, just do it. It is a rewarding job. Don't let like the few outweigh the mass majority. There's a few loud ones that might say, "Oh, it's bad." Like, no, but it's a rewarding job, and I enjoy it a lot. And just stay with it. If you're gonna go to college, get a degree outside criminal justice. Most departments just want a 4-year degree or some hours. Like, one day this will end. One day you'll retire. You want something to fall back on, or God willing, something happens and you break your leg or something. You can't do this no more. You still have something to fall back on later on in life that will make it easy for you. So just keep on the course.
Absolutely,
like
nice, good stuff.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah,
words of wisdom.
Well, it was awesome talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you coming in, bro. And I do want a shirt like that, medium, please. Thank you.
Listen.
He prefers mediums, though.
I think Wacker's probably got one for you. He can get you one.
All right, so until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.